Good morning, children. Today we are going to learn transport system in plants. We have learned previously the transport system in animals. Okay. Now the question is, do the plants have a transport system? Do they require transport system? Yes or no? Yes, plants do require a transport system because plants are also living things. They have a multicellular body and they require energy to perform their activities. So absolutely there is a necessity of a transport system. Now the plants which are not well developed or maybe very short plants or small plants, they for them the diffusion may be, the process diffusion may be sufficient for transportation of materials from one place to other place. But a plant which have a longer body, okay, a tall plant, okay, now this diffusion is not enough for them. That's because diffusion takes a lot of time from cell to cell to diffuse the materials. It takes a lot of time. So it requires a system to transport the materials, and today we are going to learn about that transport system in plants. Now children, one thing we have to remember that plants require much less energy comparatively to animals. Now why? Because one of the reason is plants are made up of dead tissues. Okay, their body as they grow into tall, okay, or become big, okay, their body will be made up of more and more dead tissues, and you don't require energy to maintain dead tissues. So one of the reason they require low energy is they are made up of dead tissue, and another reason is they do not locomote from one place to another place. Yes, they do not move from one place to another place. So due to these two reasons, okay, the plants require less energy comparatively to animals. Very important question for exam. Now coming to the transport system in plants. Now today whatever we are going to learn, we have already, most of the topics we have learned in class 9. I hope when I say at least you will recollect those concepts. Yes, children? Now, we know that the plant tissues. When we learned about the plant tissue, we know that the plant actually made up of an outer tissue, a covering tissue, which is called epidermal tissue. And the thickness of the plant is due to the tissues which are present, which we call it as ground tissue. We also call it as cortex. And we have after the outer covering tissue, and again, so if you take a TS of plant, you have an outer covering tissue, so the outer layer which is covering tissue, and inner to that you have a cortex, okay, so you have a cortex inner to that, okay. Now so this much part is cortex and this much part is epidermis. And inner to that you all know that we have bundles of tissues which we have learnt as vascular tissues. I'm talking about the higher plants, vascular plants. They got a special tissue which is called vascular tissue. Now what are vascular tissue? Vascular tissue are conductive tissue or conducting tissues. Because of its function, they conduct the materials from one place to another place. So they are the conducting tissues which are present in the plant body. Where are they located? You can see they are located at the center. They are located at the center, and this vascular tissue, we call this as bundle called vascular bundles, and these vascular bundles are made up of two types of tissues. Bundles are made up of two types of tissues which are called xylem and phloem. There are two types of tissues which are called xylem and phloem. Today we are learning transport system in plants. Okay, so we have vascular tissues or vascular bundles which are two types, okay, xylem and phloem. Now let us see what xylem will do. Let us see what phloem will do. We already learned it, children. Okay. Now let us see what xylem will do. Now you know that when you think of a plant, the first thing it strikes our mind is photosynthesis. Now you know that for photosynthesis, you require water, you require carbon dioxide, and we require so many other materials, and plants also require minerals which are present in the soil for their growth and metabolism. So all these materials, for example, let us take water. Now you know that the part of the plant which absorb water, which absorb minerals from the soil, okay, are roots. So the roots will absorb the water and minerals from the soil. Now if you think of a plant body, okay, this is the root and this is the leaf. Now when you think of the plant body, now you can see that the water and minerals which entering into the root has to reach up and has to reach to the plant, and to which part of the plant? To the leaves. Because leaves require water for photosynthesis. So the water which is getting into the root of the plant body should reach the upper parts of the plant and into each and every leaves so that it can perform photosynthesis. Who does this work? This work is done by xylem. So what the xylem will do? Xylem will conduct or transport water and minerals. The minerals get dissolved in the water. So water and minerals from the roots to the leaves. From the roots to the leaves. Now see the children, the direction of the movement. The direction of the movement is upward. So upward movement. The movement of water in the xylem is upward and upward movement, and it is just one direction from bottom to the top, so we can call it as unidirectional. And it conducts what? Water and minerals from roots to the leaves. So I'll come back to the xylem. So what xylem will do? Xylem is a tissue which help in transportation of water and minerals from the roots to the leaves. And the movement of water and other things in the xylem is always upward, unidirectional. Yes, children? Now coming back to phloem. Now you know that by taking this water, and you know that the carbon dioxide etc. will diffuse into the leaves from the air through the stomata. So there the diffusion is happening. So diffusion is helping in supplying these gases to the leaf cells. So you know that with the help of that the leaves perform photosynthesis, and they perform and they produce food. Right? The food in the form of glucose. Now, whatever the food produced in the leaves, okay, should reach the every part of the plant body. Every part of the plant body means, it also include even the roots. That means the food from the leaves should reach every part of the plant body, even to the roots. That means you can see the movement is from leaves to roots, means it is downward. It will be downward. So in the phloem, the movement will be not only downward, I'll come to that, but first you understand from the leaves to the roots means it is downward. So what the phloem will do? Phloem translocate the food materials which are produced by leaves from the leaves to even the roots of the plant. So the direction is downward. Now you must have noticed that I used a word translocation. What do you mean by translocation? When I told about xylem, I used the word transport. Whereas when I use the, when I was telling about the function of phloem, I used the word it translocate the food materials. Yes. Now what is the meaning of translocation? Now translocation is, remember children, for example, the food prepared by plants, Okay, now that you know that it gets stored in different part of the plant body. Now storage of the plant can take place in fruits, or it can be even the underground parts, for example tuber or potato, where the tuber will store the food items. The potatoes example, it store the food item. So it will get transported from the leaves down and it gets stored here, and whenever it wants to distribute to other parts of the plant body, from the storage part again it will move upward. That means first it gets stored, so the direction is downward. Again when it wants to distribute to every parts of the body, it moves upward. That means the movement of materials in phloem is bidirectional. What it is? Bidirectional, or you sometimes they call it as multidirectional. So I repeat the function of xylem and function of phloem. Xylem conduct water from roots to all parts of the plant including leaves. The movement is upward and the movement is unidirectional. Phloem translocate the food which are produced in the leaves to all parts of the plant including roots, and the movement of material is bidirectional or multidirectional. Yes children, so you have learned two tissues which are helping in conducting the materials from one part of the plant body to the other part of the plant body. One is xylem and one is phloem. Now the question is, you already know these bundles are present at the center. I will show you one diagram to explain you how does it look like. Yeah, here you can see this is a plant body, and you can see here it is the root, and this is the stem, and this is the branch which end in a leaves. You can see they shown two two pipelines like this center. One is representing the xylem and one is representing the phloem. So this one is representing the xylem. See, you can see at the center of the root, center of the stem, and from there it is supplied to the center of the leaf, which is midrib, and like this the xylem will be conducting the water from the roots to the leaves, the up direction. You see the arrow mark is upward. Here you can see how the water is moving through the xylem, and this xylem is forms a pipeline. And we have learned xylem in 9th class. Xylem is a complex tissue made up of 4 types of cells. Okay, we know that xylem parenchyma, xylem fibers, and tracheids and vessels. Because it's a complex tissue, it is made up of different kind of cells. So out of these different kinds of cells, which mainly form this pipeline, which is forming the pipeline at the center of the plant body, are 2. One is vessels and tracheids, especially xylem vessels, which will form the pipeline, continuous pipeline, and distribute the food to the water and minerals to the leaves, so that it can perform its metabolic activities like photosynthesis. The similar way you can see, center again you have phloem. This phloem is coming here, see the arrow mark children, and it is coming down from the leaves, okay, to the center of the stem to the center of the root. From the root, it may get stored in the different storage tissues. So you can see the arrow mark which is depicting the flow of the food. One is xylem and one is phloem. Okay, so where they are located is at the center of the plant body. It can be the center of the root, it can be the center of the stem, it can be the center of the branch, and it can be the center of the leaf. And now if you see the leaf, that center you will have midrib. So here the xylem vessels are present, and also the phloem vessels are present. Xylem and phloem, which will be continuously like this through veins, and like this it will transport the materials to every cells. Yes children? Okay, so this is about how the transport system. Now I told you xylem is made up of 4 types of tissues. One is xylem parenchyma, fibers, tracheids and vessels. We have learned already these all in 9th class. Okay, so in that the main cells which participate in the conduction of water is the vessels and tracheids, especially the vessels. The similar way, we know that phloem is also a complex tissue made up of 4 types of cells. One is sieve cells, companion cells, okay, or sieve tubes or sieve cells, companion cells, phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma. Out of these 4 cells, okay, types of cells, the main cells which participate in the conduction or the translocation of food are sieve tubes and companion cells. Mainly it happens through sieve tubes. So you have to remember the 2 cells important in xylem, that is the tracheids and vessels, especially vessels in xylem, and the 2 cells present in the phloem, that is sieve tubes and companion cells, especially the sieve tubes. Through the sieve tubes the food will get translocated. Through the vessels the water and minerals get transported. Yes children, okay, we will learn about how the xylem will do that activity detailedly in the next session. Thank you.